Hey, hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors. I'm Kelly, your host here at Don't Run with Scissors. Your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, 3 crazy rescue dogs who likes to craft in her spare time, is training for Ironman, and has gone back to school full time to be an ASL certified interpreter. It has been a humdinger of a week. It has all been, overall it's been great. No complaints. None. I got up early this morning. I went to the garage with George, my Jeep, and got his new shoes put on. So he's driving so much better. He's such a happy boy. He has big all-terrain mud tires, so he makes a statement when you see him coming. He's not just a little wimpy Jeep. He's a big boy. Which just makes me happy. Like I said, he's a 4-cylinder. If I had a 6-cylinder, I would put a lift on him and bigger tires, but it just doesn't make sense on a 4-cylinder. So the next Jeep will be the goal is to buy a 6-cylinder. Not gonna lie, because yeah. Now that said, I'm only 5'4". I'm kind of short, and that's okay. But George is a pretty good height right now without the lift on him to get in and out of. And I might need a little step stool if I put a 4-inch lift on him, which I think is fantastic. I'm fine with that. Okay, so let's see. How are you guys doing? I have a Halloween gnome mug because that's the one I grabbed out of the cupboard. They're super cute, and I didn't put them away after Halloween because I don't do that. Like, if I have it just goes in the cupboard. There's a boy mug. There's a boy gnome mug. Halloween as well. I don't know. It's in the cupboard somewhere. But, okay. Anyways. So. My big dog is over there pouting. It's kind of funny. I don't know why she's pouting. I think she's mad because Bella didn't give her a pizza roll. And that makes her sad because, yeah, she's a big old goofball. She does not like gummy bears. And the funniest part about that is every time you eat gummy bears, she insists she has to have them. But then she gets them all wet and gross, and they just sit on the floor really. Until one of the little dogs actually eats the gummy bear, because if you give one, you got to give them all 3 something, because fair. And the other little dog, Nigel, likes them. And so if he eats the gummy bear and then he tries to take hers, then suddenly she will eat it. I mean, it really is like having 3 little kids. And Nigel is under the couch cover trying to sneak attack onto Lizzie and poke at her. I'm telling you, it's like having 3 more children. So maybe I should start off by saying I'm the mom of 5. So, your ASL sign. Oh my God, you guys. So on Saturday, we had a class. And my favorite teacher learned swears and slangs. Swears and slangs. Because if you're going to interpret, maybe not so much in a courtroom setting or in a medical setting, but if you're going to be interpreting on a video relay chat for somebody, things are fair game. People have conversations, and swears and slangs and sex are all part of that, but they're not going to teach a 6 to 15 week course on that. Now, you probably could. It'd probably be one of the best attended classes ever. So one of my favorite teachers so far, her name is Randa, she taught class. And so we were talking and we're like, okay, so here's your sign of the week. So somebody said, what about kinky? Well, kinky, you just spell out. Or you can describe, like, do you like handcuffs? Handcuffs? Or whips? And then we had to explain, somebody asked her to explain what's the difference when you sign, like, a group of people all having versus like a female and a bunch of guys having. And so when we said the words, and I'm not sure if the YouTube gods will like frown if I say the words, she was like, what is that? And I'm like, oh. So we had to teach our professor the difference so that then she could sign them for us so that we could learn the signs. I'm pretty sure in that 2 hours I laughed harder than I have in the last 6 months combined. It was probably the most fun class. There was about 15-20 of us on Zoom and all. So then at the end she made us go through, and I was the only first year in the class because anybody in the sign club could come. But most of them were second and third years, and I'm the only first year. But I'm on the board, so I'm expected to be there, and I would have been there anyways because I thought it would be fun class. And so we had to go through at the end, and we had to use a sentence with one of the signs we learned today. So mine is still pretty PG. So okay, so lawyer, so lawyer. So that lawyer is a dick. Dick. And I said, what I really wanted to talk about was that lawyer this is mother. Yeah. So that was probably one of my favorite words. So there's your signs of the week. So this week in my actual class, I believe we are going over more about ethnicities, maybe. We just finished up a lot of foods and ethnic cuisines, and I signed on my test. So the statement had to do with the tomato. So you sign red, so red and then tomato. Well, the whole sign is tomato. I don't know where my brain was at. I signed red ball. It's not wrong, technically. A tomato would be a red ball. But I'm pretty sure that's not the sign he was looking for. So we'll see. Whatever. Overall, knock on wood, I am still doing well in all of my classes. Bean is helping me with coding in HTML. It's getting a little easier. We've had the second assignment. I did that yesterday with her. So yeah. So that's good. Work is busy as always, which I'm extremely grateful for, but getting a little bit back on top of things. I have a few things I want to still get to do. Oops, drop something. Oh. I want to get it done. A few more things done even today before class. This next weekend is our big fundraiser for 42 Strong. I will pop that link below if you are inclined to donate. I would be forever grateful if you would also drop me a note on Instagram and let me know that you donated, because I would like to send you something, a thank you. This is a cause that is near and dear to my heart. I've talked about it the last several weeks now. 42 Strong is in honor of Tate Mears, who is a teammate's son who was tragically murdered at Oxford High School just after Thanksgiving. And 42 Strong is the foundation that the Muir family has established in Tate's honor and in his memory, that will be providing mentoring and things like that, starting in our community, but also branching out. So we are looking to raise funds to help fund that foundation and to make that dream a reality. So I will be, after talking to my coach, I had a big training weekend this weekend, and we biked about 75 miles on Saturday, turned around and did another 28 on Sunday. My hip and my IT band, I'm not kidding, they were feeling it on my right side. Pretty rough on Saturday. That's why we called it 75 rather than pushing it any further. Still a great ride. I will likely see my massage therapist sometime after this next weekend to work on some of that. I've been doing some stretching, lots of pain medicine. This one's really good if you're looking for one that's I want to say more natural than anything. This one's really good. It's by melaleuca.com. It's got methanol and I want to say peppermint in it. It's kind of it's yeah. It works pretty well. I feel a little bit better using this than lidocaine all the time. But not gonna lie, on Saturday night I had the TENS unit going. I had lidocaine patches going. I had this on. It was a little rough. I've actually never had it where my IT band, I could actually feel it swelling. It was all swelled up down the side of my leg. That doesn't usually happen with me. So that was a little rough. Like I said, Sunday we did a shorter ride, kind of loosened things back up, got things moving. Took it really easy on Sunday, and babied my body and did what we needed to do. So I am in good shape. Like I said, the plan is to bike this next weekend 140.6 miles between the 3 days. That is an Ironman distance triathlon, but it's biking each of the 3 distances rather than swim, biking, and running. I think, I don't know what my club's plan is going forward after this next weekend, but I think what I may do is make the first weekend in February always like a Tate Meyer weekend, or Tate Meyer weekend, or I may pick the weekend. I may pick the anniversary of the shooting. And I think my eventual goal is to get my body back to the point where potentially I can bike maybe 400 miles, 100 miles for each of the lives lost. I'm not sure. I'm going to work on this idea in my brain, but that's kind of where I want to do something annually to mark this and to raise awareness. Something's got to change, and yeah. And before we end up back on that soapbox, I'm gonna put my soapbox away for a minute and go on. So now you're probably going, what in the heck am I doing here? Well, those of you who are returning know that this is part of my channel. This is what I do. It's part of my. I verbally vomit. That's what we call it in my house. sorry, we verbally vomit here about a lot of things in life, and you know, in topics that are important. So okay, so we've talked about that. The other big huge thing coming up, if you are following me on Instagram, you will have seen I just showed the picture the other day. Clay and I have our first limited edition Valentine's Day release for Jukebox Stitchery. It is a beautiful, I'm absolutely in love with it. And the pattern itself, I was like, this is gorgeous. I think we hit it out of the park with the pattern. I think it was just, you know, and of course I'm biased, but whatever. Clay did the model stitching and he did the FFO so that we could see where we wanted the kit to kind of go, and about like floss that would need, we want to make sure that we include enough materials that everybody can finish it, and that there isn't a problem, but that you don't have all this extra, so that we're not, you know, we can keep the margins down so that we don't have to charge you an arm and a leg, because we want our product to be affordable for everybody and things like that. So he did the FFO and he took the picture for the cover, and I almost had tears in my eyes. It's so pretty. So that will be being released. If you are friends with us, we have a Facebook group and a Facebook page. We also have an Instagram page, so you can keep up to date. They are going to be limited edition because we have to go through and we have to stain all the boxes and put the kits together and things like that. And that takes time. And, you know, we don't want to sit on a bunch of inventory because, yeah, but I already have the space allocated in my office. I have like a separate little sub office that my former partner's, that was her separate office. So we kind of turned that into like the Jukebox Stitchery headquarter office. So the kits things will be, inventory will be there, but that will be coming out. As of, Clay and I were talking this morning, because we don't know how many we're going to sell, and there's that concern. I think we were talking like of only doing like 30 kits, and now I'm starting to, like, we're both starting to wonder, like, is that going to be enough? Like, we don't know. So and I don't know if we're going to release the patterns separately or if we're going to do it like down the road. As of right now, we haven't really, it's just going to be the kit. So first come, first serve. So you may want to join the Facebook group. For sure, like the Facebook page and the Instagram page, because that's how you're going to know. We have our own website. It's jukeboxstitchery.com. And so we'll list them on there. And again, first come, first serve. The pattern, you can check it out on Instagram. Like I said, I think it's gorgeous. I have not stitched it yet. I'm dying to. And that is one of the exceptions to no new starts, is if you do test stitching for companies or if you're a pattern designer, you know, clearly they understand that. So, so yeah, so then we have a couple other patterns that, like, we're starting to roll things out. So that's exciting. What else is going on? Classes are going well. Dogs are doing good. The big girl is now sleeping. Oh, Hillbilly Candle Company. I know, like, because I don't have enough going on my plate. Let me just help. Like, let me start another business or businesses and keep going. So Hillbilly Candle Company has been going huge. We will be carried. We've added a bunch of new scents. They are so yummy. This is like my third or fourth candle. I burn it all the time, but even when you're not burning it, it smells so good. So good. And they come in the cute little mason jars. So yeah. Mine right now is sugar cookie. One of my favorite smells. As far as candles go. Absolutely favorite. I think the next one I'm going to burn is leather, because I really want to see how that one smells, like, burns. But we have one that's campfire. We have bourbon and bow ties. There's some nice beachy summery scents. So go check out hillbillycandles.com. We will now be carried in the Harley Davidson in Daytona is going to be carrying our line. We are currently talking to a couple other big places. Ideally, though, we really need to get a couple funding grants. And ideally, it is a grant, not a loan, because a loan just doesn't make financial sense. But a grant, that's a no-brainer. We'd like to get a couple grants so that we can get a big warehouse storefront. And once we get the Florida one kind of up and moving, we're going to open one here in Michigan as well, in my area, that the kids will work at. So they'll have jobs and can contribute. I also figured out, I'm always like, why do I always feel like I'm always doing homework? First of all, I have a hard time delineating in my brain the difference between office work, because I'm drafting documents and reading stuff, and schoolwork, because again, I'm drafting a bunch of stuff or reading a bunch of stuff. But I realized the other day, Bean and I study together because we have one class together, but she also asked me to help her with something, and I don't remember what I'm supposed to help her with, but we've been doing that. But the boy child, they're short on tutors still. So I'm reading the one book with him, and we're listening to it, like every time we get in the car together, we listen to the audiobook. Although now we're like on chapter 6, but the class is only on like chapter 2. So we have to stop. And I'm like, dude, I only have the book on rent from the library for 2 weeks. It's actually a pretty good book. I'm also on book 30. We've now completed book 30 in my mission to read 150 books this year. So I think we're in good shape there too. But that may be why I'm feeling a little bit more like I have more than the average person as far as classwork. So that said, I have a finish. I'm so excited about this. I finished the little bacon and eggs. This is from the Frosted Pumpkin. Now, in retrospect, just so you guys know, it's not showing up well. I did dye the fabric in some cider, hard cider. It was a cream. For a while there, it looked more pink. Now it just kind of looks, I don't know. Had I done it, if I did this, let me speak better. If I was to stitch this again, which I'm not sure why I would, but whatever. If I was to stitch it again, I would pick a different background color. I think I would. I think the sample on the pattern from the Frosted Pumpkin is like a blue. And I think I would have gone like a blue or a green, even a purple. Probably not pink, because that's pink. I did leave off the outer border. But hey, that's finish number 6 of the year. Now, if I would just FFO them, because now I have 3 little Valentine's Day ornaments for my make-believe tree that I don't have yet. I don't have it yet. So, then last Wednesday or Thursday, I don't remember which offhand right now. I'm blanking. What a bad thing to blank about. Was Holocaust Remembrance Day. So I pulled out my whip of Anne Frank from Gira, which I bought at Creative Poppies. Does that make sense? Yes. CreativePoppies.com. And it's this piece right here. It's got outer stuff too, but that's essentially the main part of it. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Here's my bang piece. So, I pulled out Anne, and I stitched on Anne. And I made some good progress because before I had the roof, but it wasn't all filled in. And I had the one side and the two sides going down, and I had the plane. So I put in the dub. Now I had to put in the dub's eyeball and beak. I filled in the rest of the roof. I realized I went one stitch too long on this green here, but I'm not going to rip it out. I'm just going to make it work. But then I went down and I wanted to see how far down it would go. So that is the bottom of the little house where it says peace. Down here, and I don't know if you guys can see it, is barbed wire. And I understand the significance of it. I really and truly do. I talked to you before, if I ever stitched again, I would leave off the planes. So I'm debating if I want to leave off the barbed wire. Obviously, I'm not, well, maybe it's not obvious. I'm not taking out my plane, and I'll add in the other one to make it even. So I'm torn whether or not I should add the barbed wire at the bottom. I don't know. So my plan is, for now there may come a time this year where I may bump this up. That roof is intense. It's like this weird plaid, but it is all filled in. It is way more stitches than you would think it is. So honestly, we're doing good. Anytime it is a Holocaust remembrance anniversary type day like that, like an important day that would be related, I will pull out Anne Frank and I will work on her. It may be a point, there may be a point where on my board, I have some other, I think that would be considered a large based on, it may be a medium. If I have an opening on my list, I may just go ahead and bump it in and fill it in. And finish it. So that I can then, hang. Hi, Nigel. So, wipgo numbers were pulled. And for me this year, let's see, they are, where is it? Number 5 and 17 got called. So for me, that is the Lindy Stitches Funky Menagerie and Modern Folk Embroidery Sal from last year that I left off in February. Ironic, just realized that. Whatever. So, Funky Menagerie, I had the initial corner. I have the picture. Why am I doing this to myself? I have the little picture. So, going into wipgo when the numbers call, I had this little motif here done. I had the snail, the blue pelican. Is it a pelican? This funky deer thing. I think this is like a jackalope, maybe. Don't know what these animals are. Some of these I do. Like obviously that's a cat, that's a penguin. Some of these I don't know. So I'm going to call this a jackalope. I had it partially done. So I have now, so my goal for wipgo is 10 days. Now I did start early. I'm still going to count my days even though it's not quite February because that's just the way, it's my board, it's my rules kind of thing. So today will be the 3rd day out of 10 that I've worked on it. I worked on it at the garage this morning. I did some paperwork, but my computer, because I had to do the hotspot off my phone, was just too slow to do some things. So if you take out the border issue, because the border is going to take me forever, I have it almost to the halfway point, animal-wise. I have to do, let's see, I have to finish this jellyfish, octopus. I don't know what it is. The butterfly, this rhinoceros, and this bird I have to finish. And then start the ostrich. And then I'm at the halfway point. So depending on how class goes tonight, we may hit the halfway point as far as animals tonight, which would be really cool because, like I said, that's 3 days worth of work. Now, I did, just in the era of transparency, my little Rastafarian spider, I think that's what he is, with his little hat. I shorted his hat somehow, a row, whatever. So to make sure that I counted off of him correctly, I just added another row to his feet. Whatever. He's mine. That, like, who's gonna know? Who's gonna know? Not me. Well, everybody who watches my video will not know. But, so what's cool is, eventually, soon enough, I'll actually get to trim my fabric, because clearly Kelly doesn't count and measure well. Kelly overcuts and then, you know, whatever. So we have still, after today, 7 more days to work on that. If I'm close to the finish, which I would guess at this rate I would be, I will just push through because there's extra days in February. There's extra days in every month because she calls the 2 numbers, 10 days on every project that's on my board. That's what I have slated. So, just so this was my other, it is a modern folk embroidery. I have not worked on this one yet. I left off because I am off, I think, 1 row here. And I have to, so I put it in timeout last February. And I didn't pick it back up because that's just the way I am. So hopefully with 10 days, I can fix where I'm off and finish this motif and maybe even another one. I did print off all of my months. So we'll see. Progress is progress and it's good. Okay. So that is for sure my other February things. So my 2 wipgos. And with that goes my no new starts in, well, I'm doing 22 and 22. The problem is that a lot of my 22 and 22 are essentially Hades. I have Pandemic, the periodic table, which is bigger than a Hade. Jeep Van Co is a Hade, essentially. Magic Study is Hade. So yeah, I have a couple that, you know, I don't know. I worry that, so my goal this year for my goals, my personal goals are 12 finishes. I'm at 6, with 3 of those being Valentine's Day ornaments, but we're not going to be bitter about that. But like, there's no way that G Van Gogh is getting finished in 10 days. I may in 10 days get a page, the page that I'm on, done, but even that I think is kind of pushing. So we'll see. So the other thing that I have saved the space on my no new starts board because I did not put anything in when I finished Coffee Quaker, which is considered a large. I did not put anything in because I knew I was saving it because I want to do the Self-Love by Birdie Crossing. It's gorgeous. It says things like in the middle, damn, I'm beautiful. Sexy is a mindset, not a waist size. You are more than a number on a scale. It's so pretty, and it's got a bunch of different motifs. I am not sure which, the only thing that's holding me up from starting this right now, I did decide, I'm going to essentially do my favorite colors. Like, personally, I'm a silver, not a gold person. So like all of the crowns on the top and the bottom, I'm going to do in silvers. So silver 12, silver diamond. I may use silver crown neck, but they'll be silver. Then obviously I like ocean blues. Those are my colors, like anything water related. So there's going to be lots of blues in there. But I'm also like, I like pink. I have a girly in me. So there'll be pink in there. And what I may do is do, like I said, the crowns in silver. I may do all of the like motifs in blues. And maybe I do the words in pink. I don't, or like other colors that I love. I don't, like, it's charted to do it all in 310. I'm not going to do it that way. But what I'd like to do, like, I don't know if anybody, I know that Denise is stitching this from Black Ribbon Stitch Studio. I'm not sure who else is stitching the Self Love from Birdie Crossing. But this is my, my February Honor Me, like, sort of piece. So if you'd like to sell this with me, that would be fantastic. Let's use, I don't know, even just self-love sell would be great. But I'd love to see everybody's work, and I'd love to have people join me on this one. I don't do a birthday start. That's never really kind of like, I think 2 years ago I was thinking I was going to do one, and then it just didn't. I don't know. This one though, this is my other February. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it goes quickly. It looks like it should stitch up fairly quickly. It looks like a fun stitch. So we'll see. I just have to get my fabric, and like I said, I kind of want to do like a fun, and that may determine my colors too that I then use as far as threads. Like if I'm just going to do it on white Aida, which I think it doesn't, or cream Aida, then I'll use different colors. But if I find a fun, like I bid on some of the Fortnite auction fabric, if I win one of those and put it on there, then I won't, then I'd probably stick to like 1 or 2 colors as far as flosses. So we shall see. That's kind of things. My plan is just to kind of keep trucking on stuff. Like I said, I've got work, I've got schoolwork, life, all is well. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to get back to, I got to edit a document so that I can then have my client sign it and send it into the courts. I have one other thing I want to get drafted and another thing printed out so that I can sign it and then scan it and send it back to the court. And that is before we go to class, and we're going to leave for class in about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So, learning a lot in web design. It's not as hard as you think it is. Depending on, we're using Visual Studio Code to do it. So it gives it, like, it really helps with prompts and stuff. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. It'd be really nice to make honor roll again. And as of right now, we should. So, with that, again, I'm going to let you guys go. If there's anything that I can do for you, please just drop me a note. I will do my best. I will put the link for 42 Strong down below. I will also connect you put the link to Jukebox Studio and Hillbilly Candles. Sending you guys all the love, and I will see you next week. Bye.